Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to another Poem Massive video, and today let's talk about Synga, Leon, and Eternatus. So Synga, Leon, and Eternatus obviously coming later tonight at the reset, so which I will be, as usual, doing summons on. So make sure I'll subscribe with notification on so you guys could join in as soon as it happens, right? Again, it's just on each reset. Also, a Hop is also on reset as well, so that's cool. Hop's free, by the way, so we're not going to talk about him. Gonna talk about the not free one, which is Synga Leon. So it should be a Poke Fair, right? It should be a Poke Fair first of all. So the 10% 5-star rates, all that stuff, and this guy is okay. He doesn't seem like amazing, but he also doesn't seem bad either, right? Which is nice. So let's talk about his kit. So first of all, looking at his stats straight up first, right? So the stats. Which, by the way, the max move doesn't change your stats at all, right? It's got 719 HP, which is a lot of HP. 129 and 129 on both defenses, which is not a lot of defenses. But you're a striker, so it doesn't really matter that much. You're not going to get hit too much, right? 380 speed is a lot of speed. That's a lot of speed. And has 237 special attack. So this is like this. It's kind of like similar to Gloria. Right, a lot of things very similar to Gloria. Right? First of all, very fast. Got a 4-gauge move. Obviously you self-buff much better than Gloria, but yeah. Anyways, we on your moves: Dynamax Cannon, Special Dragon, single target, the 4-gauge, right? 172 power at 5 out of 5, and then 100% accuracy, right? This move is problematic just because it's the same thing with Gloria, right? Like, you see, like, oh, the big, you know, it's a 4-gauge move. It should do a lot of damage, right? Not really. Because if you don't get this extra 50% damage, which, again, comes from when the target has sync buff, that kind of doesn't do that much. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's also not anything amazing, right? Unfortunately. Then you have Dire Hit Plus, which max out your crit. X Speed Plus, which max out your speed. Eternal Power, which -1 sync move countdown. +3 special attack, and then super duper effect or super effective up next, and then lowers your special defense by 1. So that's cool, I guess, right? As for your sync move, it doesn't really do anything. And your passive Lucky 7 for 50% chance of lowering all these stats, right, at once. And then you got a max damage guard, which just gives you like a guard, basically, right, when you after you use a max move. And then you got ramming speed, which is a 30% buff if you have +6 speed, which again are to your moves. So apparently it seems from the video that they've sent on the official Paul Mash's Twitter accounts that Synga Leon, in terms of like his max, oh, by the way, his max move is where's Eterna Beam, which is 480 base power at 5 out of 5. Yeah, it gives you +3. It'll max out your move gauge, right? So the thing with Eterna Beam is it does get affected by multipliers, but it's kind of like sync moves where it only gets affected by specific multipliers, right? So stuff like ramming speed doesn't affect Eterna Beam, unfortunately, but stuff like Crit Strike 2 would affect it. And for example, the super duper effect, or not super duper, the super effective up thing. This thing, not super duper effective. Super duper effective probably won't affect it either, right? So stuff like this will affect it. Stuff like Crit Strike 2 would probably affect it. Stuff like ramming speed, Hunter Instinct. This stuff will probably not affect it. Inertia, probably not affect it. Power Flux won't affect it, right? Stuff like this won't affect it. So it's very specific multipliers, right? So there's that, I guess, right? So it's kind of like a one-time sync move. Sorta, all right, in terms of like the damage here, which is cool. Again, you could only use it once in the whole battle, right? So there's also that. In terms of the grid, right, you got some multipliers in here. You got Hunter's Instinct, which is ramming speed, but speed debuff for your opponent, right? And in that case, you got MP Refresh 3 for internal power, NPR 3 for Dire Plus. No, NPR 3 for all your train moves, not that you need any of them. Right, you got Sharp Entry, +1 crit when you enter the battle. Got Inertia, max speed, gives you 2 times your sync move damage, which is nice. You got a plus 100 power for your Eternatus beam. That's your max move, right? Some power for Dynamax Cannon. Power Flux 3. That's another offense multiplier. Max countdown, -1 sync move countdown after using max move. Inflackable, endurance. So in terms of like the unit, right, how many copies you want, I think 1 copy is fine enough, right? If you are trying to go for him. Obviously 2 out of 5, you do get Hunter's Instinct, and then 3 out of 5, you get the get all the other stuff, right? Which Hunter's Instinct, honestly, not very good. It's just not that great, right? I mean, but if you don't have any options, then if you only have 2 out of 5, then sure, pick it up, all that stuff. But yeah, I'd say Eternatus, you either go for 3 out of 5 or just 1 out of 5, right? Because you got all the good stuff at 3 out of 5. The Eternatus Beam power up, Inertia over here, Power Flux 3 if you want that, right? So in terms of like, should you actually summon on him though? I'm leaning towards not really. I'd probably, yeah, if you're free to play, you should probably still keep on saving for the anniversary. All right, and by the way, his banner I think is still around when the anniversary drops. So even if you want to summon on him, you should probably wait till we get the anniversary info, right, when the anniversary stuff drops, and then you could compare and then, you know, look at it that way. Because again, you have the luxury of seeing what the anniversary stuff is before this banner goes away. So there's no reason to wait, right? Unless you just really need it now because you can't beat some Dragon Week stage. But then again, for Dragon Week stages, you have Synga already in the game, which is fantastic, right? Synga should easily clear any Dragon Week stage in the game. But if you're like really struggling, and if you're a whale or whatever, you could definitely go for him. He's not bad, right? But again, there's just so many like other Dragon type, really solid Dragon type damage dealers in the game, right? Like again, Synga, who's free. A Lance, right? Still fantastic. Kamo's okay. Right? All these other units. So it's like, do you really need Eternatus? Unless you really like Eternatus or Leon, which is fine, then go for it, right? But outside of that, because like the big issue, like his max move does solid damage. The biggest issue is just his Dynamax hand is like, doesn't do that much, right? Until the opponent could give you a sync buff, right? Or they use a sync buff. Or also damage is very mediocre, especially for a 4-gauge move, right? But it's an overall solid unit. You got Inertia. The max move does some good damage, right? Here and there. You have Hunter's Instinct, but it's not that great of the multiplier. Power Flux is okay. Not that great. Yeah, you just don't do that much damage with Dynamax Cannon, right? In comparison to something like a Hyper Beam or whatever, stuff like that. But again, he's still a solid unit. I'm not saying he's bad. He's not bad, right? It's just that there's so many like Dragon type damage healers already. Like, do you really need another one? And again, anniversary is literally just coming up. Also, Hoopa's banner's up, which by the way, Hoopa's just much better, right? Overall. So again, solid unit. Definitely not something necessary. If you're thinking, oh, but he has a max move. Well, I mean, most likely we're going to be getting more units with max moves during the anniversary, and probably better units, right? Even though, again, he's good. But it's just not the time to really go for it yet, right? At least wait till we get info on the anniversary units, then we'll see, right? Which, again, I would assume anniversary units probably better than this, right? So, I mean, if it's not better than this, and the anniversary units are very disappointing. So yeah, anyways, that's why this one. I guess hope y'all enjoy it. Again, I will be summoning, so make sure y'all subscribed, so we could check out the summons later tonight. So yeah, anyways, have fun, folks. Good luck if you guys are summoning later tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next one then.